you from Homebrew Studios. It's Bob and John's Super Duper Variety Power Hour with your host, Bob Katie.
And John Picarillo.
Time has slowed as I walk this dusty road. Yesterday's gone and tomorrow's too far away. Sometimes I think.
Good evening, good morning, everybody.
Welcome aboard, folks.
Thursday, April 23rd.
But it's
Whenever
all right
you-
now.
Whenever you're listening to us, morning, noon, night, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, whenever it is.
Woo!
Good morning, everybody.
Woo!
We are here. Whoa. Already we got a problem. Look at that.
Houston, we have a problem.
Yeah, you know what? We'll get off right with it.
Houston, we have a problem.
All right, fix that right away. There we go. Woohoo!
That's right.
Damn.
Fix it up. What are you, touching
We're all
all the
set.
wrong buttons?
Touching all the wrong buttons.
Jiminy Christmas.
Put my hands in my sleeves. See, you don't want to touch no buttons no
I decided I'm going to leave the egg.
The egg?
After I mess with the egg, I'm going to always set it that way because
You
it's
show 'em
funny.
the egg.
It wobbles. And when you put it on.
Weevils wobble, but they don't fall down.
So, like, maybe it'll be a funny thing for the viewers. You know what I'm saying? Look at it wiggle. A wiggle, 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 wiggle. A wiggle, 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 wiggle. You know that sound?
I feel so funky.
So funky. Feels so funky.
Wiggle, no, that's a song?
Yeah. A wiggle, 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 wiggle.
No.
You never heard that one? Oh, come
Nah.
on. You got to know what I'm talking about. It was kind of
Nah.
good. It might not have been in your wheelhouse, but oh, here we go. Hold on, I got to start this party.
Here we go.
Why do you want that beer so bad?
Because he's thirsty, dummy.
That's right.
Feeling better now?
Yeah.
Feeling frosty?
I'm in the game.
In the
Stay
game?
frosty. That's what other people say. Stay frosty.
You have no problem staying frosty, do
No,
you?
yeah, no. I am definitely cool.
Cool?
Cool.
Cool.
Ice makes
All right,
me
you
cool.
primitive screwheads, listen up.
You can find us at Bob and John's Podcast at gmail.com or
At Loose End Buttery on the Twitter and Instagram. Or
on our Facebook page or our YouTube channel at Bob and John's Super Duper Variety Power Hour. Like that, huh?
I do.
It's smooth that time,
the way
huh?
it's supposed to be.
No.
It's only been 6 months.
You're still reading yours.
That's right. I'm not going to commit that much
Hey,
to memory. Are
No
you kidding
reading,
me?
baby. No reading here. We're free balling it here.
That's what I say.
You know, we're freewheeling and dealing.
I'm out
it
there,
here.
Jerry, and I'm loving every minute of it.
I don't have that one. But
That's why I'm going to do them, because if you don't have them, we still got them. So that's what I'm talking about.
you were supposed to. Yesterday, you were supposed to have your first softball game of the season, huh? And that didn't happen.
That's right. It seems like the entire year is that way. It starts to feel like every Wednesday it rains, but every Wednesday there's a small blur of hope that will still play right up until 15 minutes before the game.
And then they call and go, nah.
They call it about. It wasn't. They call it because it's been raining all day.
Yeah.
That it was pretty much an hour and 15 minutes before the game, which is. It was like 4:45. We play at 6.
No, that's not.
That's
well,
not
you know what?
too
That's
bad.
not too bad
It's
because
not too bad.
You.
The only thing
you're
is some people are coming from Albany. You know, they're
Oh,
already
yeah,
headed and
that's a
stuff
problem.
like that.
Yeah, that's. But I guess they probably figure everybody gets out at 5:00 work,
Right.
so
yeah,
15 minutes beforehand, they probably have the ability to switch gears pretty
but
fluidly.
You know, it's spring and it rains in the spring, so it's just
Yeah.
part of it. Honestly, I would rather not play in crummy conditions. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not really fun when it's so muddy that the ball, you need a towel to keep the ball from not being wet and dirty,
Well,
which
wet and
affects the way
dirty.
it moves, which affects the way it rolls, everything.
'Cause
and then
he's
you're
wet and dirty.
I've been at games where, by game time it was beautiful, but it had rained all day. There's still puddles. And you're like having to work around them. That's no way to play. You can't be worried about a puddle. You can't.
Puddle.
No. So
Puddle.
if it rained all day and it was still it was still crummy at game time. So
Yeah. Well, hey, shit happens, right?
I do like.
I'm surprised they don't shift it into like maybe having the few weeks that are in April, in September, or later August, like in there.
Well,
that would
no,
make
the
more
way-
sense because the weather's still nice.
Yeah, but the season ends, and it still leaves me with some summer weeks, which is kind of nice.
Well, yeah, I listen. I
Like,
understand from that point, but I'm talking about from their point of view of the nasty weather in the beginning.
Yeah, I know, but it's
It's just a
before the
Wednesday.
summer's over, softball's over, and so that means like when I'm forced into vacation,
Uh-huh.
we used to go right after. In fact, we left for Maine twice, 2 different times,
Right after softball.
right after the last game, and took off because it's like the end of the summer, so the rates are getting better, but it's still nice, and you could
Yeah.
still enjoy the water and stuff. So
I have a feeling that you do, like, you look forward to softball in April, and you're like, ooh, softball, but then by like the end of August, you're like, it's good if it's done.
yeah, that's the other thing is when you're in there in August. I've played some real hot games, and that's kind of a bitch too. I
Yeah.
mean, I sweat a lot walking around. Well, not really that bad, but you get me doing any exercise, I'm going to start sweating. The hotter it is, the more I'm going to sweat. And I got this thing, I call it the moose, and it's kind of funny.
So funky.
Anybody that remembers me from middle school.
Oh yeah, the moose hat and the moose shirt.
Everybody called me Moose. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Had my hat with the buttons on it, said Moose.
Moose.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Even
classic.
teachers called me Moose.
Yeah.
So this strange phenomenon happens when I begin sweating because my shirt is green. Our team color is green.
Uh-huh.
And I start to sweat, and you can see it. It's pretty clear. Well, because of the, I don't know, I have breasts. And then why, you think that's funny? Does that make you laugh? Like I'm a clown?
I'm funny how? I mean, funny like I'm a clown. I amuse you. I make you laugh. I'm here to fucking amuse you. What do you mean funny? Funny how? How am I funny?
Well, I don't know. I don't know if I could I don't know if I could draw the picture to the listeners
That's
if
the way you looked at me. You were like cupping yourself. You're cupping your boobs. You're like, I don't know, breasts.
well, because the sweat mark starts right here. Right here. Right? See, I'll show the viewers. It's right here.
Oh my god.
And then down the center of my chest, there's like a valley. Here it's between my breasts. So it goes down here to pretty much my belly button. So at one point, usually around a hot game, I'd say around the 3rd or 4th inning, it looks like I've got a moose on my jersey. That's what it looks like. The marks are.
Surely you can't be serious.
I'm serious.
I am serious.
And don't
call me Shirley.
So, any listeners from the team, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Moose and squirrel.
I got a moose.
Moose.
I got a moose on my belly. Any listeners or viewers, feel free to come see a game. You'll see this phenomenon. Wait till the end of the season, though. I don't sweat that bad all season. It's mostly in the August.
Why you got the weird look all over your face? Well, snap out of it.
That's right. Well, now you know.
Jesus.
Now you know. But you know what? I always liked playing baseball in middle school, and I would have played in high school if they didn't have.
The whole smoking thing.
Well, it was everything. We couldn't hang out at the rap room. I was.
Oh yeah.
That was my home room.
There were.
I was a representative of the rap room.
There were.
So
rules and
took-
regulations.
I took that to be an honor. I'm proud to be member of the rap room. They wanted to take it away just for playing baseball. That's not right.
That's what the zoos used to call it, Marlboro country.
Yeah. Oh, I see
Head
you
down to
boys heading down to Marlboro country.
He didn't know until I was a senior that I didn't smoke.
He also didn't he have somewhat of a potty mouth, but God forbid one of us had a potty mouth. He didn't like it. I think that's the way. I remember something
Benna.
with
Benna was the one with swearing.
Oh yeah?
You didn't swear with Benna.
Yeah. I knew there was one of them that there was none of that.
But he didn't swear, but he would light you up on swearing. It was kind of silly thing, but
Yeah.
you're in high school, and obviously that was his thing. Obviously, remember getting in the door of engine tech, and
1, 2, or 3.
for you it's 1, 2, or 3. I think it was 2 because it was with Marco and Kenny and Bill Wertman.
What a year!
And Ben is putting the key in the door to open up the shop, and so we're all waiting to get in, and all of a sudden you hear Bill Wertman, so quiet that moment, and he was like, "Fuck, Marco!" And Bennett just stops. He doesn't even scream, and then Bill's like, "Office, I know. Marco, you too. All right."
The good old days.
Marco did something to Bill.
That was great class.
Oh, that was an amazingly fun class.
Two periods in a row, and then every other day it was off.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
'Cause I gave you 2 free periods on them. That works. That fits lunchtime.
Yeah, that was
That'll do.
that whole class was.
I'm chaos and he's mayhem. We're a double act.
That's
right.
The whole
That's right.
the thing was. It's time again.
All right, you primitive screwheads, listen up.
You can find us at Bob and John's podcast at gmail.com or
At Loose and Buttery on the Twitter and Instagram, or
our Facebook page, or for our friend Ray who's listening, who doesn't listen very well, our YouTube channel.
where you can view it.
Yeah. At Bob and John's Super Duper Variety Power Hour.
That's right.
It's time, isn't it?
Is it?
Is it?
I don't know what time
Could
it is.
be. Could be. I don't know. You got anything else going on? Anything you want to share?
Well, I got something coming up to share.
Yeah. You have any random thing to share?
What's that?
Any random thing to share?
No.
Oh, yeah. Anybody wants an apartment in the Schenectady area,
It's true.
he's got one available.
Well, not quite.
It'll be available in May.
Will be available.
Will be available.
May is the goal.
Is the date.
You gotta
So,
clean it up.
yeah.
Yeah, I didn't want to get too specific about this, but it did come up today. I won't get exact, but the people I had to remove from the
You could say evict.
yeah,
Hey, you threw their asses right out.
evict them. Well,
You don't pay, you don't stay.
That's right.
Out the door.
I got a text from one of them that wanted me to call and do a referral.
Did you tell them?
I said, stick it in your ass.
That's what your thought was, wasn't it? That was your thought.
I said, stick it in your ass.
When you told me, it was like,
Mother puss bucket.
take a lot of balls to call up. And,
I know. I can't believe it.
yeah.
I thought I was doing him a favor by not
By
not calling the person back that called me for the reference in the first place.
I never paid on time. I treated your apartment like a
Shithole.
A shithole. I left a ton of shit there for you to clean up.
No.
Can you give me a
Yeah. I mean, it's the first time. Look, I bought this place 7 years ago.
Human sacrifice,
8
dogs
years
and
ago.
cats living together, mass hysteria.
Upstairs has this pain in the ass type of ceiling that I have successfully
plaster
been
or popcorn?
I want to call it popcorn, but it's not popcorn because popcorn is like little styrofoam balls. You know what I mean? This stuff is like valleys and canyons of compound dripping. You know what I mean? It's
almost
thick.
a plaster.
Yeah,
type of-
it's a mess. And I do not want to paint it. And I have to paint it because they smoke their freaking brains out in there.
Yeah. That's,
You know, even when I used to smoke cigarettes, I go outside. You like the walls and the ceiling. The ceiling and the ceiling fans are the worst. I really got to take all the ceiling fans apart, clean them, paint the ceilings.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah, when I was
and all of these years, even through the jungle that was up there with the 5 kids, that one. Even at least I didn't have to paint the ceilings after them. I just had to fix every door in the place. Every single door.
When I
It's like
cleared
they
out
were hanging on them.
couple-
And the ceiling fans, too. I think they were playing the old put the stuffed animal in the ceiling fan game.
I didn't know that was an old game.
Oh, yeah. And because they messed up the fans so bad, I had to get into the drop ceilings. While I'm up there, I found all kinds of shit up there. Sandwiches, cookies, plates. And then in the other room, so I decided to check the other room. I know, what if I didn't find that? I could have a infestation problem, not even know it. You know what I mean? That's ridiculous. So now, ever since that happened, I'm paranoid. I check them every time, you know? Who knows who stuffs things in the ceiling? I never did it before. But the other one was full.
Nobody would want to stick like $500,000 in there for you or something, would they?
Maybe I'll get lucky one of these days. But the other room had like a little more mature items, like whiskey bottles and stuff like that.
Oh, mature items.
Yeah. So apparently there was. I don't know if it was before. I don't know. I can't even say for sure. I found them after the zoo, and I say zoo because I've had a lot of people up there, and I lived there. And when there's a zoo,
It's
upstairs,
not a tumor.
Oh man, I've never come home from work so angry, and then have to deal with that. Like I had a bad day at work, and then have to deal with 5 kids running around upstairs
And a screaming girlfriend at you.
all, and we're talking late into the night. I mean, into the morning, because Mom used to work nights.
Oh.
So it was like one of the teenage kids watching them all. They were playing hide and go seek until 4 o'clock in the friggin' morning sometimes.
My first appointment. Oh, there it is. First one of the night. My first apartment had the woman upstairs had a child that would right over my bedroom at like 6:30 in the morning with the basketball. Until they went to school. And during the summer, it was constant, just for hours in the morning. It was like, oh, you got to be freaking kidding me.
Yeah, I don't think there should be bouncing balls.
Oh, I felt like kicking down the door.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
That's what
I got a
felt like
funny
doing.
thing. I got a funny thing. I don't think I should say it out loud though, because I said there shouldn't be any bouncing balls in the house, but there's maybe some that would be all right. You know what I'm saying? for a that can watch.
I guess I need an adult button to go wonk 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 wonk
like that.
He's joking around.
Balls are always
Feels so good when he jokes.
Oh, hey.
Oh, hey. So, anyway, yeah, that'll hopefully be ready May 1st. I like to get it back up to.
I love this plan. I'm excited to be a part of it. Let's do it.
I'm about there now. Oh, well, we'll get into that later. Okay.
Oh. It's time.
Get it?
Book of John.
Jackass. Yeah. So Book of John right there. Oh.
Book of John. It's all you.
That's like stuff that I want and plan to get. So my most recent Book of John item on the list that I did quite a bit of studying this weekend, because it's an ancient art, so it should be simple enough to set up. So it's going to be in the shop. It has to do with blacksmithing.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been interested in it for a long time, but I wanted to see what others are doing about blacksmithing, and there's quite a few people blacksmithing.
Okay.
Wide range of things you can do blacksmithing, and one of them that's really cool is like weaponry.
Yeah.
Swords, knives, the arrowheads.
Yeah.
Especially ones for spears, and the atlatl. Yeah.
Well,
That's on. That's on the. It's on my. It's on my list. I don't think I can talk too much about it, but that's.
Excuse me?
It's an
Baking
ancient
powder.
It's an ancient form of bow and arrow. Sort
was
of.
that again?
It was atlatl. It's more of like.
There's something you don't see every day.
It's more of a. It's an arrow, a spear.
Yeah.
Okay, but it's got like I can't explain it because my picture of it isn't here, and it kind of sits in a tossing, like another kind of. It's a handheld device that this spear sits in.
Okay.
So when you flick your wrists and
Almost
launch
like
it,
almost like a short lacrosse type of thing. If you had it like not like a
Spear.
big stick, but
Yeah.
like in your hand type of.
Well, the reason why I got into it is I watched one of these episodes.
Not lacrosse. What's the word I'm thinking of? What's the one they play in Miami? And they have those big long hand things.
Oh yeah, shoot, I don't know. All I can think of is Tron for some reason because that's what that
kind of was what they were doing in that.
Yeah.
Oh, you go ahead. I'll.
Yeah, I watched a show on that because it's losing popularity and they have all the big courts.
Highlight.
That's what it's called.
Highlight.
Yeah, that would be the idea. That sort of thing.
Type of thing. That's the kind of motion you were making, like in an overhand.
That's basically the idea. Anyway, I watched one of these episodes because I get interested in that History Channel kind of stuff, and there's
that's good stuff.
There was the duel. I don't know what it was. Dual survive. It wasn't Dual Survivor. Dual Man versus Nature, something like that. And the one guy's like this, like wicked cool, laid back outdoorsman, and the other guy is like a serious hardcore Marine. And they're both into survival and living off the land, and being able to survive in any situation. So they put them together because it's actually harder to work with a partner when you got all the answers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, this guy, the guy that was really into nature, I mean, seriously, dude, the guy was like Tarzan. He's got a big bushy beard and he's got a loincloth that he's made from, nature. And that's what he wears most of the time if it's warm, And on this one episode, they had to get food. He hunted down and killed a wild pig with one of these atlatls that it was like, just like, and it just launches the spear and it adds, because I think it has more force than just throw your arm because you have a little bit more leverage, so it gets it moving a little faster.
Can you say that 5 times fast?
No, because I'm
Can
only.
you say addle and brewery brigade really fast?
I'm only going by what I've read about it, and that's the way it's spelt. Atlatl, like that.
Okay, but you're
like
saying
that.
blacksmith. You were looking.
So
at one thing you wanted
so
to get?
I was checking it out, and really, there's only a couple very minimal requirements.
Yeah,
Anvil.
Yeah,
That's the thing you strike on.
Yeah.
You need a forge. That's the heat
Yeah,
source. That's a way to do the heat source. Hammer.
Uh-huh.
And the tongs. They call it a V-bit. It's basically like pliers, but with long handles, so you can reach
The
into
long
fire and
tongs,
stuff. Yeah. So the forge is obviously the one that's going to hold me back because I can't just put that up anywhere.
Yeah.
But I found.
Excuse me. Do you mind if I put a forge up here?
But I found there is a way on a small scale because the first video I watched, guy does a lot of presentations at school and stuff. So he needs a portable.
A little
portable
forge.
shop,
Yeah.
So this guy built a forge out of it was a standard vehicle drum brake in basically a aluminum pan where all the charcoal will sit, and you keep the heat going inside the brake drum because that won't burn through, and you need air flow.
Yeah.
And you got to be able to control it, and a whole bunch of these guys, they got those hand air dryers from a bathroom.
Yeah.
Because people were just throwing away, they were remodeling, or business was out, and they were just getting rid of it. And all of them use the same one, and they basically just rigged it to a house dimmer switch, and they could open and close the air or increase, decrease the airflow. And they were using a similar device. And you know how much I like working with fire. such as an excuse to poke shit in the fire and get things hot, and then start slamming on things. Now, here's another thing: is it's gonna take a little bit of.
Is that steel? They're doing it.
Yeah.
So it's steel. It's not iron or anything, is
I
it?
think you could do.
What did they use in the Middle Ages? Was that steel?
They probably did it with.
Was that the first forgings of steel?
I'd have to look up to see what was the first type, but I mean, how they forged all kinds of metals. At one time or another. I mean, they did bronze.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Even gold.
Uh-huh.
So I imagine as long as you can get it hot enough, you can forge it.
That would be interesting to see the process of.
I watched a bunch of videos, and it's funny because it takes a long time. Like one of the funny things I learned is obviously through the ages of blacksmithing, the way to learn was to be a apprentice.
Yeah.
And it's funny because they said, any blacksmith who had an apprentice didn't want him around doing nothing. So if he didn't have anything for him to work on, he used to have him make nails, because back in the day you used to have to make your own nails to build a house.
Yeah.
And it takes like 5 minutes a nail. You know what I mean? It's not like a cookie cutter thing. It's like, and you need a lot to build a house. So
even back then, the boss had to have you doing something. Couldn't have you.
That's right. Make nails.
Yeah, you can't really. What are you on break? Make a nail. Goddamn
Go
it.
make nails.
It's starting already back then.
I said stick it in your ass.
That's what I'd be saying.
So one of my thoughts was to kind of make my own shackle, because I seem to go through shackles up at the lake kind of quickly.
The shackle. What
are
you shackling?
The boat.
Oh, okay.
The boat to the anchor. And you know what?
I'm like, you got a 50 Shades of Grey thing going on? You got a room with shackles?
A windy ass day. Trying to rig up the shackle to the boat while the boat's bobbing, and I'm on the paddle boat. I've dropped a shackle or two. I'll get them when I go down, because my boat came off of the anchor last year, so I'm going to have to scuba dive down. And
Scuba Steve.
That's right. And I gotta hook a chain up to it so I can hook my boat up again. But while I'm down there, I'll guarantee you I'll find at least 2 shackles, and I will look for them. Sometimes I don't lose the shackle. Sometimes I lose the insert. So if I'm able to forge steel, I might as well create a better shackle. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm thinking.
It's so funny. It's like, well, I lost a lot of shackles, so I decided to become a blacksmith.
Oh, there's a lot of other things I would like to do,
Oh, I know. Like we said in previous podcasts, when you were younger, you didn't have money, but you had time. And now when you're older, you got more money to be able to do some of the stuff, but very little time. God forbid time and money ever meet up for you.
Yeah.
We're in trouble, folks.
It's going to be great.
We're in
Wait till
trouble.
you see the shop, man. I'm starting to envision it now, because there's a couple key elements we've already discussed. Like, I'm going to have torches. The second guy, when he fired up his forge, I mean, it's kind of cheating if you're trying to be like old school, but let's face it, the quickest and easiest way to get a fire going is with your torches. And I've already said I want torches, so yeah, there's one way to start the fire.
Yeah, but are you trying to be authentic, or are you just trying to forge something?
I'm just trying to forge something.
Yeah, it's,
I mean, I'd like to know how.
This is my boomstick.
Like, I did take a lot.
You can forge a real boomstick.
Yes, I can. That's right. I made a couple diagrams of the anvil because, well, one is a very funny term. I think it's funny.
If you look at it upside down, it looks like a cow without a head.
Well, I was trying to be specific, and then I was like, "There's no reason to be specific as long as I know where things are." Well, there's that pointy part in the front. They call that the horn. That's if you take a piece of flattened metal and want to bend it into like a bowl shape, say like a shoulder pad for armor. And believe me, I think I've said this already, and if I haven't, I will in the future. I want a suit of armor along with chainmail. I watched the whole thing with making chainmail is amazing too. I got to put that down here somewhere.
At least in our generation, tell me that everybody out there who's listening to us the 3 people. Everybody.
There's more than that. I look at the numbers.
Everybody
try to trick me.
Everybody in our generation. Tell me the first time, whenever you envision an anvil, it's Wile Coyote doing something, dropping an anvil.
That's true. Yeah.
Every single time somebody looks anvil, I got the cartoon picture of an anvil in my head with Acme on the side.
That's true. That's the first time I've seen an anvil.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's the first time I think where people.
So if anybody doesn't know what an anvil looks like, that's one way to think it up.
Wile Coyote.
Seen the Wile Coyote thing.
Genius.
Well, the anvil's got 2 holes in it, and the one hole's called a pritchel hole. It's round, and you put a rod into it, and that's if you want to bend it. Make 90, 20, do your angles if you needed to angle.
I would have called it the bendy hole.
So you heat it up, you put it in the pritchel hole.
You were about to say bendy.
I was, but I wanted to be correct here. And the other one's a square one.
Busting my balls.
You can heat up the end, put the rod in here, and it's angled so it'll catch, and you beat the hell out of the top of it, and it basically creates like a giant nail. I'm trying to think of the word. It's more like a
spike.
Spike, yeah. And that's how they did those. And I've seen a lot of like railroad ties. They have the spikes that they use there. They turn those into all kinds of things. I'd have a lot of fun. Just give me a forge and an anvil. I got hammers, and I'll make a tong. I'll reach in there with my hands.
Make a tong.
I got the gloves. I kind of beat them all up, though. Anyway, the square hole is a hardy hole. That's the hardy hole.
You're already. I was trying to control myself because you're already talking about rods and holes, and I'm like, you serious about this? I'm gonna let it go. And then
Jackass.
And he went there. He went there.
Isn't that a funny name? The hardy hole. Heidi ho.
Heidi ho.
But anybody trying to unload an anvil?
Yeah, anybody.
I might be interested. They say
John's got a roadrunner to kill, so if anybody's getting rid of an anvil,
that's right. I need one. I do. I can see myself striking that anvil.
Yeah.
With forging steel.
Acme written on the side.
It's gonna be awesome. The shop is gonna be so fun. I hope I can spend some time in my retirement in the shop. I think that's what. I might not be forging as much steel then, but it's going to be another. I'm going to do woodworking too in there.
Well, we're hoping for our giant podcast career here to take off and make millions of dollars so we can have all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. We're almost there.
Pretty much right there, huh? Huh?
Yeah. Well, all right. Well, forget about the shop. As far as
no, I think it's an obtainable thing.
It is. It's not that much.
No.
You just, the reason why I think of all these things is because you got to be on the lookout. It's like the great day I had Saturday. I got lucky because it happened to be a lot of the stuff that was left
spring cleaning electronics
at the apartment by the earlier talked
Scumbags.
about. Left a lot of electronics, and if getting rid of electronics isn't as easy as you think, especially when you're talking about TVs, big TVs, and heavy TVs.
You had to do that big one, didn't you?
Yeah, brought the dolly over.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, went down the front stairs. It wasn't fun at all, but that's the
the
only good part is I didn't care if it broke because.
I'll say one thing. I'm glad to have missed that one.
Yeah. So, just turns out right down the street from my parents' house, they were having an e-commerce or an e-collection.
Yeah, where they do that. Like they've done it Taft Furniture and stuff.
Yeah.
On Central
I got to tell you, man, those guys were great. Like, not only did they take all of our garbage for free and not charge us like you would have to if you had to get rid of stuff, you got to bring it to the dump. You're going to pay for each one of those items.
Oh, yeah.
And these guys not only took it, but they were happy. Like, they must make some money on that stuff somehow.
Yeah, I don't know
because
how, but they do.
Well, wasn't there some
Nobody does anything without making some kind of money on it.
Some foreign countries, the kids were dying because they were burning computers to
Really?
get to like this really minuscule bit of metal that's in electronics.
That doesn't surprise me.
So if you know what you're looking for, you might grab some money out of it.
You know who buys most of our scrap metal? At least for scrap metal.
I want to say China because I
China.
feel like I
Yeah.
did that. I was surprised to hear it. Yeah, because they're
They're in the middle of their industrial revolution right now.
Right.
So
Exactly.
where
That's-
when we had ours, we had to create the scrap metal. They're buying it on the cheap from us.
Yeah.
Same thing Japan did in 30s and 40s when they were. I mean, that was the big thing that they were worried about, and one of their reasons for bombing Pearl Harbor to come at us was because we were. I don't know if we had done it yet, or if it was out there that we were going to do it. Put it in. They were surviving on scrap metal from us to build their army. Japan was, because Japan doesn't have a lot of resources on that island.
Right.
you know?
It's not very big.
Yeah, so we were one of the big resources for them, and when there was the embargo, that getting cut off, that's when they were pretty much like, well, it's now or never, so we got to go get them. You know what I mean? They're cutting off our livelihood, or our back then our means to make war. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when that happened, they said, nah. You know what I mean?
I'm pretty sure there's an element in most electronics that you can. I mean, I think if you had to process them, I mean, obviously it's dangerous because I heard about these kids doing it, and kids were dying from inhaling the fumes from. So it can't be easy to recycle. But I imagine if you know exactly what you're getting into, you take the part that has the most of the element and.
Well, yeah, other people probably are just ripping it apart and cutting and stuff and making
And I'm sure a
terrible
lot of
fumes
it,
and stuff.
I'm sure a lot of it, I don't know how much they go through to process it, but a lot of the stuff I'm sure worked. A lot of the stuff I dropped off worked. It's just a matter of, is there any use for it? Like the two things that we got rid of finally that I was in doubt about was our two record players. But I got rid of one.
I don't know if I would have taken out the electronics. I think sorry to say, I probably would have just put that in the garbage.
No, see, no, you got. I'm
Yeah, I know,
trying to
you're
get you
Mr.
recycling. You know what I mean? I've been trying to do it.
I'm the dude.
Right.
You're the recycling dude.
I'm the dude.
I am the dude of recycling.
Yeah, you are. You are. When you started part-time living here, you were just like all recycling, and I was like, if you want to do the role of recycling, go for it.
I fill that can once every.
Well, for a while there, it was once a week.
Yeah.
You were driving out there.
It's because I was able to get to things too. I've noticed I miss things every once in a while. They get into the garbage before I get a chance to get them out to the recycling. Otherwise, there would be more.
When we see John picking in the garbage, we know he's not looking for something to eat or anything.
Trying to recycle.
He's looking for recyclables to make sure they go in the recycling.
All right.
I'm the dude.
So for your future blacksmithing needs, one more thing. When I become this master blacksmith, it was amazing. I watched this dude make chainmail, and you basically had wire, and he put like a drill on a pole, a little small threaded pole, and put the wire on it and turned it on. Basically made a big spring.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then clip, 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 clip in every circle as part of the chainmail.
Oh, what a tedious, sucky job.
Oh, yeah, well, it's going to take a while.
What a tedious, sucky job. I just hearing that makes me go, tedious, sucky job.
That's exactly why I have to have the full ensemble, like full knight's armor.
So everybody contact John for your blacksmithing needs.
Yeah. The blacksmith shop will be opening soon.
Listen to Bob and John's Quick Shots every Tuesday on iTunes, BuzzFeed.com, or Stitcher.com. Brought to you by Bob and John's Super Duper Variety Power Hour. Bob and John's Quick Shots.
I don't think you ever took us out.
Yeah, it's too late now.
See?
All right, you primitive screwheads, listen up.
You can get a hold of us at bobandjohnspodcast@gmail.com or
At Loose and Buttery on the Twitter and Instagram, or
at our Facebook page or our YouTube channel at Bob and John's Super Duper Variety Power Hour. We don't have any music for these next two ones, but we're doing we're kind of doing two segments in one here, and I'll explain it to you real quick. We usually do a pick of the week. I don't know why I thought I did music intro for pick of the week, but I guess I was wrong.
I did have a random thought.
What was your random thought?
It's been a couple days now, and I had to mention it because I was excited at the time. I couldn't wait for the next podcast.
Yeah.
But some time had passed by, and I had stopped being excited about it. Anyway, we talked about Pat on the air.
Pat, yes.
Yep.
Our friend
And
Pat
he was in
Strobel.
town last weekend.
Sorry we missed you, Pat.
We were all busy, which happens, and everybody's cool with that. We understand how that goes.
Yeah, it's so funny because I was looking at that weekend, and I was like, oh, nothing. And then right before the weekend, it was like slam. I was like, oh,
Yep.
balls.
But I did get to talk to him while he was in town, and we talked for quite a while. And ironically, I found out, as all you listeners know, I'm a big fan of beekeeping, and I haven't even started it yet. Turns out, Pat not only is interested in beekeeping, but he keeps bees. He's got hives right now, and he lives in Florida, so we got talking about it, and it's a little easier because you don't have to worry as much about the winter freeze, which they huddle up through the winter and suck it up.
And you were saying that he thought maybe that we knew that he was doing bees and made that for him.
Yeah, because we did the beekeeper one, which is a little unruly.
And we'll have more of those beekeeper ones.
And he was like, yeah, I thought you guys were like making fun of me or something. I'm like, nah, I had no idea you were into it.
Well, there's something you don't see every day.
So I thought it was super ironic that I haven't talked to him in forever, and it had nothing to do with the show.
No, total coincidence.
Total coincidence that we're into beekeeping. I mean, it's ironic. So I just wanted to mention that because it
Oh yeah, absolutely. If we're going to make fun of somebody, we'll come out straight out and do it.
Yeah, we'll put your name on it. We'll put your name on it.
We'll put your name on it. We'll make fun of you. We have no shame or, we don't care about the consequences and repercussions.
That's right.
Yeah. We don't, we don't care about that.
I didn't mean to interrupt
Joking around. Feels so good when he jokes.
You're introducing kind of a new bit, new segment.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to do a pick of the week, but John came up short, didn't have a pick of the week. He just drawing a blank. So we're going to do what we're going to do. We've been coming up for content for the quick shots, and one of them was one called "You Suck." Yeah, and basically,
we got to have something for that.
You suck.
One of those for sure.
Basically is that when something pisses us off, irritates us, or somebody or something, we're going to express, talk about it, tell you what it is, and tell them that they suck at the end of it. You know what I mean?
It's an option.
Yes. So
optional part of pick of the week.
Yeah, we're gonna give you a little taste. John's going to do a "You Suck."
I'm doing a "You Suck,"
which you'll hear on the quick shots, future quick shots coming up.
That's right.
I'm sure. I'll start with my pick of the week. My pick of the week is I really do enjoy HBO documentaries. They do some of the best documentaries.
They have a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, but HBO does great documentaries, and especially when it comes to music, being a musician, sometimes it's things I could care. Music I don't listen to. I could care less about. But if I start watching it, I'll get hooked into it. Just fascinated about it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I could really care less about the people, really interested in their music or whatever. And sometimes I've come out liking their music or wanting to hear, some of it. This one in particular, I do like their music, and I was already a fan of, so it was a no-brainer. But a couple weeks ago, HBO premiered Sinatra, All or Nothing at All. It was a two-parter. It was a 4-hour documentary. They cut it up into 2 episodes.
That's not what was playing when I was up there earlier, was it?
No. That was I think that was the movie Jersey Boys on there, a little Frankie Valli on there. But the Sinatra one, and it was very, very fascinating. The chairman of the board, very fascinating gentleman.
I was going to just show the image of the Adol.
This should be good. He's going up to the camera now for anybody who's listening and trying to get it aimed up right to show it. And God only knows if that's working.
And I'll show it you, too. That's what it looks like.
Oh, that's kind of crazy looking.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy. But that's kind of crazy looking.
Yeah,
You know what? We'll put a
I need
picture-
one of those.
We'll put up a picture on the Facebook page.
Okay.
And
Sounds good.
That'll be. You know what? For once, it'll be something for you to do.
Okay.
But the Sinatra series, I was very interested in. Went through his life and his, his singing career, different stages of his singing career and
Yep.
everything. And
How did he start out?
he was a guy from Hoboken, New Jersey. You know what I mean? He just started out
Local
wanting to be
boy.
a singer. Well, that's local. That's not local to us.
Anything from here to the city's local.
It's beyond. Hoboken is like farther
It's
down.
past?
Yeah,
Oh, I thought it was
it's
this
Jersey.
way. Oh, okay. All right.
It's Jersey. But he started when he came up and everything. He started off as he was a heartthrob. You know what I mean? He was the young heartthrob. He was the Elvis of the day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then he obviously when he got older and everything, he found a rebirth, and he had an aneurysm in his vocal cords popped
That's not
one
good.
night. No, when he was younger, and that kind of shifted him to the singing that we all know. You know that hey, you
Start
cookie chick,
spreading the
yeah.
news.
That type of thing. You know what I mean? Which is still great Sinatra,
Yeah.
but his earlier stuff is a lot more of the day, like
Not familiar with
a lot more. Not
I
the
don't know if any
cookie.
of that stuff.
Why do you want that beer so bad?
Because he's thirsty, dummy.
It definitely is a lot different than what he popularized and everybody knows as Sinatra singing. But anyway, it was just a really good 2-part documentary. If you interested in Sinatra and or anything like that and wanted to know more about him, the HBO Sinatra All or Nothing at All documentary. Really,
I'm going to have to listen
really
to some
good.
older stuff.
You mean his early stuff?
His early days.
younger stuff?
Yeah.
I got to say, I'm not as much of a big fan.
I'm not familiar with any of it.
Yeah, the stuff he did in the 50s and 60s, to me, that's, like, that's life,
That's life.
Yeah, like that, that almost bluesy type of, swing type, that stuff is more
Riding
my day.
high on Monday,
Yeah.
shot down May. Something like that.
Riding high in April, shut
Yeah.
down in May.
See? That was almost there.
Hey, you had the feel toward it.
That's right. That's
you
all that matters.
cookie broad, you cookie
That's
dude.
right.
I'm the dude.
Oh.
But that's my pick of the week anyway.
All right.
So we'll move on to John's new.
You suck. Yeah. Look here. I chose this plan to landlord. It's my entrepreneurial drive.
Nice attempt at that.
I
though,
give
but
it a whirl.
I gotta hit you with that one. Entrepreneurial. Woo, I know.
Entrepreneurial.
Entrepreneurial.
Entrepreneurial. Whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
You know what I'm talking about.
I said stick it in your ass.
I want to own all kinds of businesses, but everybody's thought about it, and everybody knows there's risks and things like you don't get vacation unless you want money. There's stuff like that. So anyway, I always try to pick ones that you can get away from that type of grind. Like somehow I always gravitate towards food because I enjoy it and I like to do it. But you know what? The restaurant business is a pain in the ass, no matter how you
Crazy.
look at it.
Yeah.
I ran a deli for a while. I thought about opening a deli for a while, but
That's a 24/7, 365
you can-
almost.
You know. So anyway, the apartment made the most sense because I'd have a place for myself, and I can rent out the other one. I start to get the feel for landlording.
Starting to build your empire.
Yeah. So I did it, and it's been a rough ride. They say the first 7 years of any business is the worst ones. And I think
definitely are true on.
I have
on
definitely
point.
hit those for sure.
Yeah.
I've been through my rough patch for sure, and I think things are looking up. Things are definitely looking up and improving. But anyway, one of my things I try to do all the work myself. That's part of the business. If you can handle minor jobs on your own, do it. You're going to save yourself a ton of money, and one of them is plumbing. And I friggin' hate plumbing.
I said stick it in your ass.
If the only business I was allowed to start was plumbing, I don't think you could pay me enough
We haven't
to
asked
do
you to
that
do any
job.
plumbing around here.
It's a good friggin' thing. I'll do no plumbing. I have done it. I know about it. I can do it. I don't like it. I'm a big guy. You don't stuff a big guy under a sink. It's just not right. And then put his big-ass hands up behind the sink and try to find invisible screws that you can't turn with your hand, so you got to put this jackass little device that has a little grip, and you need 2 hands to move the thing, and you can't even see nothing. And then, guess what? All those little nuts on the bottom of that thing are plastic, so they all friggin' break. So now you're stuck. What do? Exactly. Nothing. I got in and out of that stupid hole 100 times on Sunday.
So do you give your audience plumber butt?
No. No.
Am I being paranoid or is he busting my balls?
No, this was a faucet. I was replacing the faucet, so I was on my back. And,
okay.
And I'm walking around work the other day. I was like, that's tender. This is because I was laying on this. You're laying inside the cabinet. It sucks. Plumbers earn every bit of money. I don't want anybody to walk away listening to this thinking I look down on plumbers. I don't. You guys are heroes because we need them.
He hates plumbing.
I hate plumbing. I just hate doing it. Man, any plumber, you give that guy respect because that job sucks.
Yeah, I don't mess with plumbing because I don't know enough about plumbing to get involved with it.
There's very few plumbing jobs that aren't either uncomfortable or disgusting.
I don't like doing plumbing because if you screw up plumbing, it's not something you can just go, I'm done for this right now, and just you could end up with like water everywhere, and to me that's like, well,
that's why I'm into this job because
I wish I had the button that me and my brother used to always say with the Clint Eastwood line, man's got to know his limitations. I'm a big fan on that one. Like, you know what? Sometimes you just got to go, you know what? That's beyond what I want to try or do or whatever.
I'm still trying to get to the point where at some point it's more economical to pay somebody else to do it because it gets done quicker.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? And I get that. Time is money. Because right now I've got the old faucet off. But that was my work day. I had enough. Actually, I probably would have finished, but, Sunday, dinner time, my parents.
5 o'clock sharp.
It was time to go.
5 o'clock sharp.
Because the installation. That's right. Installation's going to go quicker than the out. But, oh, man, what an aggravating job. But you see, here's the thing. Just like you said, the one thing, there's 2 things that scare the hell out of me of owning property. One is fire. The other one is flood, and I'm not just talking about the kinds that come from the river. I'm talking about like a pipe breaking on the 2nd floor and destroying the 2nd floor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I've seen a close call in my place when upstairs had a severe leak, and it got pretty scary there for a while. That's a lot of repairs if it gets out of control. So I was cleaning the fridge, and it has the bins for fruit and vegetables, so I had them in the sink. Well, it kind of hit the faucet just a little bit because the faucet was running fine. It's not like they were living with a bad faucet. The faucet seemed to be running fine. I did notice a couple leaks while I was using it, but I wasn't too worried about that because sometimes you could just replace the guts of the faucet and fix those minor leaks.
Mm-hmm.
But then at one point I hit it just enough where I noticed water was going everywhere. And I'll tell you, I don't want any water leaking up there at all. Not a drop. I mean,
it's leaking.
When my dad and I were there when we first noticed it, I wouldn't leave until it stopped dripping, and that takes a while because you get water on the hoses and stuff. And
you really got to clean it up and really dry it.
Yeah.
Sure,
it was. But I'm not leaving until it's not dripping. Because I turned all the water off. You know what I mean?
It's dripping.
But those things too, you gotta crank them, but you can't over crank them because they're like aluminum. You know?
Yeah. Oh,
man.
I've had to run into some. They give you cheap plastic pieces.
Yeah, it's cheap.
But so I think we should now say that plumbing, you
suck.
There we go.
Pay your plumber properly.
Whoa, say that 5 times fast. Say that 5 times fast.
I got you.
Pay your plumber properly. Pay your plumber properly. Pay your plumber properly.
He got 3 anyway.
Am I being paranoid or is he busting my balls?
Say that along with, what's the other one?
6 of one, half dozen the other.
No, the thing you were showing me.
Addle-addle.
Addle-addle?
Addle-addle.
Pay your plumber properly. Addle-addle and Brewery Brigade.
Brewery Brigade.
A Brewery Brigade, yeah. So try to say that.
I'm getting Brewery Brigade.
We're getting all these tongue twisters.
That's good.
We're not.
Like
that's
it.
good?
Yeah, it's good.
Surely you can't be serious.
Oh, yeah.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
Jackass.
All right, I think it's time to get the hell out of here. But actually, one more time.
All right, you primitive screwheads, listen up.
For all you people who haven't figured this out yet, you can get a hold of us at bobandjohnspodcast@gmail.com or
at Loose and Buttery on Twitter and Instagram or
at our Facebook page and our YouTube channel at Bob and John's Super Duper Variety Power Hour. I think it's time to get out of here. It's about that time.
Don't you say something?
No, you say something.
Good night,
Oh,
John.
no, should I say something? Yeah. Say good night, John.
Good night, John.
Stadler?
Yeah, what?
Is that it?
Yes, it's over. How'd you like it?
I don't know. I slept through the whole thing.
Well, you didn't miss much. Chica!
I'm the dude.